Just imagine this. The calm, majestic beauty of Saturn, the planet that has always fascinated humanity with its elegant rings, suddenly transformed into a scene of unexplainable terror and awe, because when NASA's most advanced telescopes locked their eyes on this gas giant, they detected something so extraordinary, so completely beyond anything ever expected, that even the most experienced astronomers sat frozen in disbelief. A gigantic ring of fire encircling Saturn, glowing with a furious, pulsating light, stretching across thousands of kilometers in space, as though the planet itself had awakened an ancient secret it had been hiding for billions of years. And the first images captured were not of faint reflections or ordinary cosmic phenomena, but of what looked like enormous arcs of burning plasma, vast tongues of fire weaving themselves into a colossal ring, wrapping Saturn in a fiery crown that seemed alive, moving, shifting, sending out streams of radiation and flares that flickered like the heartbeat of something unknown. And the more scientists zoomed in, the more terrifying it became, because the fiery arcs didn't appear random, they followed a rhythm, a pulse, as though the flames were responding to something unseen, almost like a signal, a message hidden within the fire. And researchers at NASA struggled to find words, comparing the sight to a cosmic volcano erupting in silence. Except instead of lava pouring across land, rivers of fire floated weightlessly around Saturn, lighting up the cold blackness of space. And what unsettled them most was that these flames didn't burn out. They endured, growing, spreading, forming intricate patterns that no natural event should be able to maintain, as though this colossal ring of fire wasn't just a planetary phenomenon but something constructed, something controlled, leaving scientists to whisper in locked conference rooms. What if Saturn wasn't just a planet at all, but a beacon, a gateway, or even a machine? And what if the ring of fire was its true nature finally revealed, flickering now not by accident but by design, as though Saturn had been waiting all along for the right moment to ignite? And as those strange fiery loops danced across NASA's screens, a chilling thought spread through the control room. If this was fire, then what was its fuel? And more disturbingly, what was its purpose? Was it warning us? Was it calling to something in the distant dark? Or was it simply the first sign of a cosmic force far beyond anything humanity had ever dared to imagine? Because from that very moment, when the image of Saturn's gigantic ring of fire flashed across NASA's control room screens, silence swallowed the scientists who had been trained their entire lives to decode the language of the stars. And yet here they sat unable to even whisper an explanation, their faces glowing red from the fiery halo of the planet displayed before them, as though Saturn itself had decided to wear a crown of blazing plasma to announce something monumental, something beyond human comprehension. And the thought that it might not be a natural occurrence gnawed at every rational mind in that room. For fire in the cold vacuum of space should not burn this way, should not maintain such shape, should not pulse as though alive. And yet the cameras and instruments confirmed again and again that what they were seeing was no glitch, no error, but a cosmic spectacle so massive that even the icy moons orbiting Saturn were reflecting its glow, their surfaces shimmering with eerie red hues as if stained by the inferno. And when the team compared real-time measurements, they discovered that the ring wasn't just made of fire like plasma. It was feeding on something, a flow of charged particles that seemed to be streaming from deep within Saturn's own magnetic field. Like the planet was bleeding energy into the ring, sustaining its existence with a constant lifeline. And the question arose, was Saturn in pain, screaming out with this burning halo, or was it awakening, revealing its truest form at last? And one senior astrophysicist finally broke the silence, whispering words that chilled the rest. This is not just plasma. This looks like containment, like Saturn is holding something back. And with those words, panic crept into the room because suddenly the fiery arcs no longer looked like decoration. They looked like prison bars forged from living fire, encircling the planet like chains, glowing brighter whenever Saturn's storms raged beneath the thick yellow clouds, as though something was pushing to break free, pressing against the invisible cage. And NASA, though reluctant, began to leak carefully phrased statements to the public about rare auroral activity, while locking away the real data. But outside the walls of secrecy, amateur astronomers with high-powered telescopes had already caught glimpses of the glowing fire ring, uploading blurry images online that spread like wildfire across forums and conspiracy boards. And ordinary people, though lacking the scientific words, felt something instinctive, that this was not just a discovery, it was a warning, And meanwhile, as scientists pushed the Hubble, the James Webb, and even probes like Cassini's old archived data into review, patterns began to emerge in chilling repetition. The fire wasn't random. The arcs flickered in intervals, forming sequences that matched no natural pulsar or star system but eerily resembled coded transmissions, like a heartbeat spelling out a message across the void. And when cryptographers at NASA fed the flickers into translation algorithms, they returned symbols, patterns strangely close to ancient Earth glyphs carved in Sumerian ruins thousands of years ago, symbols long believed to be marks of gods descending from the skies. And the possibility struck like thunder. Had humanity seen this fire before, carved into stone, worshipped as divine flame, but forgotten with time until Saturn itself reignited the memory? And late at night, inside the hushed corridors of NASA, as the fiery ring grew brighter, some whispered that maybe this wasn't Saturn sending a message to Earth at all. Maybe it was answering one. Maybe something far beyond the edges of the solar system had lit a beacon within Saturn, setting fire to the heavens. And as the giant planet burned with that unearthly halo, its storms roared louder, lightning flashing beneath the fire crown as though echoing its rage, its warning, or its awakening. And humanity stood at the edge of understanding, trembling, knowing that whatever Saturn's fiery crown truly was, it was only the beginning of a revelation the universe had kept hidden for longer than time itself.